Alright everyone, welcome to my new channel. So in this channel, I just want to lay some ground rules out what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be talking about perfumes, colognes, any pickups I get, talking about the notes, what type of occasions you can wear them on, and just give you more of like an everyday perspective rather than some of these other influencers that I see that give a more of a overall perspective. I live in the middle of nowhere. I buy colognes because I like the smell of them. I think that's pretty much majority of people who buy colognes are. Not everybody has the luxury of living in New York or London or Paris. And so without further ado, this is a channel called Aroma, and I just want to give my 2 cents on the colognes that I've bought and why I love them. So first up, we're going to get started with Polo Blue EDP. Now this is a beautiful blue berries, fruits, just an everyday dumb reach. Now they say supposedly this one has woods in it. I personally don't buy that. I don't think this has many woods to begin with, but this is really one of the most beautiful scent profiles I can smell. Now another reason why I think this is a really good perfume for anybody who's trying to get into the cologne game is it's quite inexpensive at discounters. I think you can get this at discounters for $60 to $70 for 100 ml. That will probably last you an entire year. Now, if you look at the cost per wear, that's a pretty good deal. But with this cologne, the number one reason why I recommend it to almost everybody who asks me for cologne recommendations in my friend group is it's easy. You don't necessarily have to be a very outspoken guy. Anybody who wears this almost tends to like it. Anybody who smells this tends to like it. It's very inoffensive. Now, the one problem I do have with this cologne, I think, is its performance. On my skin, I get anywhere from 4 to 5 hours. The first hour projects very well, but then as hour 2 comes around, you're looking at probably, half the projection. By the time hour 3 rolls around, projection's gone. It's a skin scent by hour 4. Then 4 to 5 is predominantly just a skin scent. But even with that, I think for the price and the value you get from having just a dumb reach everyday type fragrance that, is very inoffensive, I think this is definitely a very nice, easy entry point for anybody who's trying to get into colognes. Now, in the same avenue of colognes, there's also another one that fits that same mantra. This is Jo Malone Wood Sage and Sea Salt. Now, I think this is very much the same type of cologne, occasion-wise, as Polo Blue EDP. Wherever I would wear Polo Blue EDP is the same place where I'd wear this. That opening. This is a beautiful, when I mean beautiful, I mean gorgeous, effervescent scent. I don't think there's much to this scent, hence the performance really does suck. There's not really that much substance behind it, but the opening is so nice. I think it's one of the best openings in all of my colognes. I think it's very inoffensive, smells very nice, smells chic if you're into that. But this is definitely a cologne that's a dumb reach. I think I bought this for $82 at discounters, and it's one of those colognes where if I don't know what I want to wear that day, just a dumb reach. I just go, I grab it, throw it on. In about 4 to 5 hours, I can throw something else on. This is one of those that I really wear to the gym a lot. I think this is a really good gym scent. It's not in your face. It's not offensive. It's just a beautiful, nice, calm, clean scent. Again, if you're into calm, clean, everyday type scents that aren't offensive, you can throw on. They're not Dior Sauvage elixirs that can choke a room out. This is definitely one of those. Now, moving on to one of my favorite scents. I think this is hands down my favorite scent, but I want to clarify. By scent, I mean just the smell. I don't think the performance is there on this one, but I think the smell is absolutely spectacular. I think Byredo does a really good job with almost all their perfumes by making the smell really good. But the performance on these EDPs are just not there. I think this is probably like a 5 hours max. This is one of the longer ones out of the ones I've tried. I've tried Blanche, I've tried Mojave Ghost, I've tried Gypsy Water. Almost all of them last about 3 hours. This one's probably the max I've gotten is 5 hours. Now, this is a clean, everyday scent as well, but this has one of my favorite notes in perfumery. I think marigold is one of the most underappreciated, underutilized fragrance notes. If you want a marigold monster, something that's floral but not too floral, has a woody base, has a very much, sexy appeal to it. Like, I've worn this fragrance, and I wore it out one night, and I was at a bar watching a basketball game, and a woman came up to me and she said, I don't know what you have on, but it smells like the most luxurious flower bouquet, and I really like it. And I was like, okay. I had never got that compliment again, but to me, it just really emphasized how much or how well a floral balanced fragrance can do when you're wearing. From that point on, like I've really tried making more of a push to try to understand how florals smell, how they come across. And this was my entry point. I think this is a cologne that every man should at least try, should try to go and find out if they can go and smell it. I think this is really, really nice. Now, two downsides to this. Again, the performance is not really there, but the Absolute version I heard is the same type of smell profile with performance that's definitely there. And so I want to try that, and I'll probably do a comparison video of the two. But the main thing I think with this cologne that makes it different, very, very different, is that opening. It smells floral, but you wouldn't think it's floral. You would think it's woods, you would think it's berries, but the marigold is just pulling everything together and makes it very, very, very well. I think the blending is also really nice. And I'm saying a lot of nice things about this, but the big downside is the price. I think you can get this at discounters for $180, $190. But if I was you, I would probably just wait to try the Absolute. If the Absolute smells just like it, I would get the Absolute. Performance is just better on the Absolute. And last but not least, one of my favorite summer scents. So, my favorite note in perfumery, hands down, no question about it, is mango. I think mango is a beautiful note. I think it just smells great. And God of Fire, to me, is the best mango fragrance out there on the market. This combines mango, candied fruits, and oud. Now, before everybody gets worried, the oud here is not barnyardy. This is not like that funky, very Middle Eastern type oud. This is very much a oud for the name of it. I just think it smells like woods. But the mango, the mango smells decadent, smells ripe, really, really sweet, just amazing. And the other best part about this cologne, I think what really sets this off compared to everybody else, the performance. I get about 10 to 12 hours of this on my skin. And I spray 3 sprays, one across my chest, one on my hand, on each hand, and I get 12 hours. And people notice. I've been complimented numerous times with this fragrance, and this is one of the newer ones to my collection, but it has probably climbed up the compliment ladder really quickly. I think this is one of those colognes that if you're confused about if you want to dive into niche or not, you should go get your nose on this. I think this might sway you. Oh, man. The atomizer leaves something to be desired, but I think the smell makes up for it. I think the smell is really, really worth the wait. And so those 4 are like my dumb reach summer fragrances. There are 4 different price points. I know money is something that's very much a topic that not everybody has, equal amounts of. And so I wanted to make sure that I had a wide variety of prices in there for everybody. Now, each 4 of these clones I would recommend wholeheartedly. But, when you buy something like this, you want to make sure the performance and, the atomizer and stuff like that are up to your par. And so the one thing I recommend for everybody that comes and talks to me about cologne is go sample. Like, everybody's been talking about Blue Talisman by Ex Nihilo, and it's like a $500 fragrance. Frankly, I don't have that type of money to be spending on fragrances, and so I want to try it out. I want to see if it's really worth the hype. I want to get a few wearings before I go out and, you know, pay that type of money for a full bottle. And so I bought a sample, and I've been sampling, and so far I like it. But, you know, it's added to the list, but we'll see when the price goes down. Maybe I'll go and buy it. But if I'd never sampled, I'd never know what it smelled like. And if I would have blind bought it for like $300 some, and then realized I don't like it, I would have just wasted my money. And so, you know, it's very important to sample. But yeah, guys, that's the video. Please let me know if there's anything that I can do better. You know, comment your favorite fragrances. Maybe comment some ones you want me to do a review on. And, you know, I'll try to get out as many videos as I can the next few weeks, trying to go over some summer freshies as the seasons start rolling up. And, yep, thank you guys for the video. And please subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time.